Okay, so 3 years ago, we got a surprise horror hit. Maybe a surprise to the general public, but to fans of the franchise who were super excited to watch it. Five Nights at Freddy's becomes a hit about 2022, and so there's probably some people excited about seeing what happens in the next chapter. The basic premise, for those of you who maybe be unfamiliar, is animatronic puppets, think Chuck E. Cheese if you're old enough to remember that, come to life at this place called Freddy Fazbear's, and a little girl in the first movie can communicate with them. She thinks they're friendly, but security guard older brother Mike isn't so sure because, you know, a bunch of child murders had happened at the pizza place, and that's part of the reason that it was shut down. So the idea was, could you survive 5 nights at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria? So in part 2, everybody dealing with, we've got Josh Hutcherson, who plays Mike. We got his little sister Abby, who's a little bit older now, and she's missing her, you know, ghosty friends.
Yeah.
Because I had to go and look it back up. I forgot how the first one ended. But in order to take down the bad person, the good animatronics had to kind of sacrifice themselves. So she misses them, and she wishes she could talk to them. And so when she gets like a toy from a different, older, I actually don't even remember where she got the Speak and Say Freddy Fazbear's.
Well, she finds it at the...
She finds it at the pizza parlor, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if she found it somewhere else. But at any rate, her friends start talking to her, so she goes back, and this sets in a whole different chain of events involving Vanessa, who's played by Elizabeth Lail, who I like. We had, for about 5 minutes of screen time, we had McKenna Grace, who was like a podcaster.
Like a YouTuber,
Yeah, who likes to go and investigate horror stuff. And what we have is this movie that's just a whole mess of story. There's way too convoluted a plot for people who aren't already big fans of the franchise. That's what I felt. There are a lot of jump scares, or at least attempted jump scares. Mm-hmm. There are creepy moments and more than a few murders. Yeah.
There's one fun kill for horror fans.
Just a fun kill. That is such a unique term.
You want it to be creative.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But then I actually thought Josh Hutcherson was kind of wasted. It didn't seem like he was on screen very much in this movie. Am I wrong?
No, and he didn't have any kind of arc. Like, at least in the first movie, there's like a little bit more of an arc for his character, a little more. He's just kind of there watching.
Well, yeah, and he gets mad, and he... Now, to be fair, Elizabeth Lail's not a very forthcoming person about her past, and she has some ties to the bad person from the first movie, and she's trying to deal with that and what's coming next. But, I mean, she does have some pretty big omissions of things that she doesn't tell him about that I kind of actually am empathetic with him being upset with her for the things that she happens to leave out. Go ahead.
Well, I did think that the marionette was kind of fun. Like,
I mean, it was creepy for sure. And it goes all like The Ring, where it makes people crawl funny ways. Yeah. But I guess it's like a marionette, so it can string them around.
But I kept wishing that this movie was more fun. I wish that it had a director with a little bit of personality. Like, I was thinking that what if, like, a Tim Burton had directed this, or Joe Dante, or somebody like that would make it at least more sort of visually interesting and more, like, unhinged. I would have been a fan of that.
Well, I'm creeped out by the premise behind the animatronic dolls in the first place. So when the movie opened with a scene that sort of linked to that got me off on the wrong foot.
Or even like a James Wan.
Yes, I am.
Like somebody that just would make it more interesting and engaging. I was just surprised how bored I was, like by both of them. Like a horror movie with animatronics, Chuck E. Cheese style, that sounds so fun.
Yeah, but how do you do it without retreading it immediately in the same way? And maybe that's the problem. And the other problem is this is an obvious bridge.
I'm just saying that, like, as flawed as the Beetlejuice sequel was, it wasn't perfect.
I had fun with the Beetlejuice.
But it was fun. It was zany. It was unhinged. It had some of that energy, and I just wish that this had more of that in it.
Well, and the other thing that ended up bugging me is that this became a bridge movie. So it wasn't really its own self-contained story, really. It was just
it's true.
Sort of setting up whatever's coming in Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Yeah.
Where they apparently will find another pizza parlor that somehow they forgot to mention that has some different, I guess. I don't know.
And probably not wise for the town to have a festival to the murderous Murderous
Pizzeria. That's on us as Americans because we like that kind of stuff. But, it was convenient that the festival just happens to be at the time where some more stuff happens so that nobody will notice the animatronics that are walking free of the pizza parlor. Oh, that's a great costume. That was a little bit convenient. But okay.
I think the Wayne Knight was the highlight of the movie. He knew his role. He knew what he was there for, and he did it. And I thought he was such a villain.
He was Newman.
He was and it was fun.
Hello, Mr. Whatever your name was. So for me, this was a D. I gave it a D. I just did not enjoy it at all. And I will say this, because the fans of the franchise were having a great time watching it.
Yeah.
So
they were.
If you're a fan, you can disregard what I'm saying. But if you're somebody who's like, hey, should we check out the big movie of the week? This was a pass from my perspective.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so I gave it a D. It's rated PG-13 for violent content, terror, and some language, and it sounds like you believe it was how rotten? Super rotten?
Pretty rotten, I would say.
You're looking at a moldy tomato.
Denied.